Welcome! I'm Arseni, and I am the People's Chef. Join me for some easy, healthy cooking. I personally love this recipe because you can use almost any types of greens. My collard greens is just a salad for an easy meal. Let's get started. So I have here some collard greens, some water, olive oil, and some garlic. Start off with the garlic. Very, very important. A way to cut the garlic is, or just to shell it, is just to cut it in half and take it off the skin. Now, one of the tricks that I learned in France, you could possibly use, is being able to infuse the garlic with the olive oil in the container itself. So you want to keep it probably in a cold, dark place so it doesn't get baked in the sun. And you usually want to let it sit there for 1 to 2 weeks before you use it. And what this will do is this will marinate the flavors and allow it to give it a little, depth of flavor in your finished piece. Now you want to just, in this recipe, just cut them very, very small, very, very thin, because garlic is very pungent. So as soon as it gets cooked, it'll start to lose some of that tartness, but give it a little bit of a different flavor. Now as you cut this, you want to heat up your pan to medium heat. So I have it here going on. Add just a tad bit of olive oil. Now the way to tell that the olive oil is starting to get warm is that it starts to, it almost has little ripples. You don't have to necessarily look for them. I mean, just let it sit there for 10 to 15 seconds. And as the oil starts to absorb into the metal, it's ready to go. So I'm just gonna start cooking this right away. Now be careful scooping it with your knife. You don't want to do it. You don't want to cut yourself. Now with collard greens, move this around a little bit. Add just a tad bit of salt. You want the salt to start cooking right away. You don't want to add too much because you want to be able to taste it as you're cooking it. A little bit of pepper, move it around. Now as this browns, it's going to brown very quickly. Let me turn it down. Now with the collard greens, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. You could either rip it or you can cut it. Now the main difference is obviously as you cut it, it'll lose a lot of its water content. So that's why I have some water here to add to the pan as this gets a little brown. Now if you rip it, like I'm going to do here, the cells, instead of being cut, they're going to be ripped, so they're not going to lose a lot of the water content. Now you want to take you want to take this part off because this is something it's going to be very hard to cook, so it's not going to be as edible as the other pieces. You want to just use the leaf part. Now just kind of rip it along the way, and I'll show you how to do it with just cutting it, so you'll see the difference in the. Now as it's getting ripped, you want to rip it into bite-sized pieces because you don't want to cut it again. You just want to put it into the pan, cook it, and then present it. So as it gets ripped, we're going to start cooking it. Now as it's starting to get nice and brown, add your collard greens. Now what I like about these is they're packed with protein, about 3 grams, so it's pretty good for something that's very, it's a leaf. So, and they're very, very low on cholesterol. So as you move it around, get your tongs, very important. And you want to move it around with the garlic. Now one of the things to keep in mind is that as the collard greens are going to release the water, you want to add just a tad bit in. What this will do, this will start to marry all the flavors together. Now as it cooks, keep in mind you don't want to cook it too much. So cook it about 90% because it'll continue cooking, because it's going to be warm as you're cooking it. So as it goes on the plate, it's going to start to cool off. Actually, it's almost done. Yeah, this is getting, as the leaves start to get softer, there's only a very, very small window to the point where they're gonna start to become overcooked. Now, you could taste one. This is really important. Tasting your food as it cooks. So let me see how it tastes. It's about 75% done. Add in just a tad bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. Another trick that I learned is that you can use a little bit of sugar. Sugar will give it just a little bit of different consistency and different flavor. Now to plate this, it's very easy. Just bring it onto the side of the pan, and very carefully with your tongs, just place it. Now the main thing with garnishing for something like this is you want to give it some height, because people like things that are tall. So make sure to save a couple of the garlic stems up top and just put them. Now you can use one of the things that I usually use is I try to keep the sauce or this little reduction of water and all the flavors on the bottom of the pan, and you just want to sprinkle it on just a little bit up top. Now this will act like a sauce, and it'll also give it a little bit more flavor. Now, this is something that you could take with you. This will probably save for about 24 to 48 hours if you continuously refrigerate it, or you can just eat it just like this. Now you don't have to use collard greens. You can use other greens like romaine lettuce. I mean, really anything, Russian lettuce, any kind of lettuce that you would like. So let me actually try it. This is the best part. Trying the dish and seeing how it turns out. Now as you taste it, you want to make sure that it has all the flavors that you're looking for, so all the consistencies and the salt content. One of the things that you can do is you can use some toasted pine nuts in the end, and we'll give it, it'll bring out the flavors a little bit and give it a different structure. So here you go. Quick collard greens. If you'd like to see other episodes, thank you for joining me on my quest for healthy eating. For complete episodes of my show and the previous shows, posted on our website at www.tpchef.tv. Please email me any recipes that you would like to see on our show at arseni@tpchef.tv. Join us for future episodes, and thank you for watching the People's Chef TV. Eat well and be well. I'm Arseni.